on day 5. We're going to shine bright like diamonds. Who's excited? I know I am. We have Kathleen Cameron joining us. This is going to be so good. All right, so while we wait for Kathleen to join us, I just wanted to say welcome. We are on day 5 and it's Friday, which makes it that much more fun. And I am really excited to be sharing this interview, this live video with each and every one of you. So what I will say is if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop it in the comments below, and we will try to get Kathleen and myself to answer those questions. So let me just let her in. Comes. Really excited for this. And for each of you, hello.
Hi, my friend. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing good. This worked a lot better for us than it did for Sarah.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm
man.
just so happy to be seeing you. This COVID thing is really just knocking me for a loop. So it's so nice to see you.
It's been too long, Sabs. Like it really has.
I
Look how long your hair is. It looks so good.
Well, no, it needs a cut, but thank you.
No, I like it. No, it's a good style. I really like it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Oh, you know what? I'm just really excited to be having you here today. I first just wanted to start off just by saying how really and truly honored I am that you have allowed me this opportunity and everyone that is in my life this opportunity to really experience, you know, what this program has to offer and how it's changed our lives. So I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for allowing me to partner with you and with the Diamond Academy in becoming this TIR, Thinking into Results Facilitator. I just really wanted to express that.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah, it's been a vision of mine. You know, I started the program myself to change my life, and then I started coaching it. And now I'm at this place where I just want as many people as possible to be able to experience
Yeah.
this material and this program because it truly is something that is life changing for every single person that goes through it. So, for you to be able to help facilitate people through this as well is just, it's part of my dream coming true to have, to help other coaches to be successful and help people through this material too. So I'm just as honored.
Aw, thank you. Abundance all around.
Oh, yep. Couldn't agree more. Yep. Yeah.
So, you know, I have some questions that I'm going to ask, and I'm letting the viewers know that if they have any questions, to please drop it in the comments, and we'll try to get to them if we can. And if not, we can always swing back around.
Okay.
Now, what I wanted to start off with is I want you to tell everybody, who is Kathleen Cameron? Like,
Mm.
who is Kathleen Cameron?
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, most people ask like, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
So that question's really different. I like that. So I am a woman who, you know, I'm a mother. I used to be a nurse. I'm a friend, a coach, a mentor, a leader. And I'm somebody who, you know, just over a year ago really didn't believe that I could achieve too much more than what I was already achieving. You know, I had thought that maybe I could make a couple thousand more a month, or maybe I could make a bit more of an impact, but that life was pretty much going to be kind of what it was. And I wasn't dreaming big. I wasn't thinking big picture. I wasn't thinking about what I wanted. I was thinking about all the things I didn't want. So now, though, I am someone who literally lives every single day from the place with all my goals achieved. So in everything that I do, in every way that I show up. And so now I'm somebody who tells other people all day long just how much they can achieve and how to believe in themselves. And so it's really it's really powerful to be able to just breathe life into people every day, especially because a lot of the messages out there are of the opposite.
Absolutely. And that kind of, and you might have answered this already, but that just kind of brings me to like, what really drives you? What drives you to kind
Mm.
of do what you do every single day? Hey, Sarah.
um it's really interesting. I've always been somebody that's been very driven and very motivated in certain parts of my life, not all parts, but certain parts. And I've always been somebody that wanted to achieve more. And I think that that came from my parents. Both of my parents were very driven individuals, both worked very hard and were very successful in their careers. So I got that from them. But what I also got from them, though, was this traditional way of living life. You finish high school with good grades, you go to university and you get a degree, and you get a job and you hopefully make 100. Maybe if you get a really good job like VP or CEO, you can be like 150, 200, per year. And while that is wonderful, that is not what makes dreams come true. And so, what is really cool is I think once I learned this material and I learned what we really can accomplish in such a short time, and with not spending, not having to work every day, all day, hustle, grind, all that kind of stuff, doing what you love instead, I've learned that you can create anything that you want. And so now my drive is even more. And it's a different kind of drive. It's not about what am I going to do for me. It's about what am I going to do for other people, and what's the impact that I can make on other people's lives, and how can I help others to live the life of their dreams. And we use money as the way to say whether or not we can have those things, but the money isn't actually what we want. It's what the money will give us. It's the experiences, it's the time and financial freedom, and it's living the life on your terms instead of living a life by default. So I would say I'm driven by my own internal drive, but now it's become more of a purpose driven.
That's beautiful. And you know what I really like about that? There was two things. One is this whole attitude of service, right? Like
Mm.
I just feel like the more we give and the more we serve, the more we'll receive in return. And you're not necessarily doing it for that purpose, but it's just that's what ends up happening because of the energy that's going out into the universe.
Absolutely. And that's all it is. It's an exchange of energy. So if you think about the more energy that you give out, and you can give that out for free, you can give that out through a payment, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's all being given out. And so the more you give out, the more you get back. And you get back what you give out too. So if you're giving out negative energy, you get negative energy back. So that's why, like, every single time I show up, I want to make sure that I am showing up as Kathleen with all of her goals achieved in a positive, happy, inspired state. Because when I give that energy off, I get that kind of energy back. And that's why now I get people coming to me and saying, I want the energy that you have. And it's because they can tell right away that they don't have that.
Yeah.
So that's why I attract now people to me that I can help to raise their energy and to raise their belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel is the biggest factor for you that's made you so successful where you are today?
I would say the biggest factor, the one thing that I do believe is an absolute prerequisite to success is self-image. And
Mhm.
so I have, at points in my life for many, many years had a very low self-image, I would say like low self-esteem. So would get my feelings hurt very easily, and, very self-conscious. Everywhere I went, I was just worried of what people would say. People would think, how does my outfit look? Oh, I don't want to go there because I don't look good right now. I've put on some weight. I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. So it became this hindrance. It
Mhm.
kept me kind of where I was. And so through this material and through this program, I have been able to create a self image of success. So I now come from the place of, okay, when I love myself, am I worried about if my outfit is going to be approved by others, or if I have a little bit of extra weight on my body, or what will people think? I don't think that at all anymore. I used to all the time. I was driven by that. So the success really started to come when I started to love myself, when I started to care more about what I think and pay attention to what my thoughts were versus other people's potential thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so how has the material helped you with that? Like, how has it impacted you with that? Because I think that's really key, because
Mm.
self-image really, it underlies everything.
Yeah.
It really,
Yeah.
really does. So how
Yeah.
has the material helped you with that?
So there's two things. So specifically for self-image, I would say this material, because there's a whole lesson on it. So that lesson really helped me to see, how am I currently talking to myself? Like, how do I currently see myself? What is my personal opinion of myself? And so writing that out in the questions that you do, it was powerful, because it was like, wow, I wouldn't even talk to my mother or my best friend this way. Like, and I'm talking to myself that way.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. Was then when you identify, okay, what is your baseline, or what are you currently operating at in terms of self-image, that's when you can sit back and go, well, what do I want to think? Do I want to think that I'm, a needy person, or do I want to think I'm a strong, confident woman? So then you auto suggest what you want to your subconscious mind. So all these years I've been suggesting to myself that I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful, all these things. So in turn, it taught me to then tell yourself what you need to hear. I am worthy, I am powerful, I am beautiful the way I am now. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be the first thing. The other part with the entire program is that it has you regulate your thinking. So I was not regulating my thinking at all before this material. It was habitual thinking. It was whatever was coming to me, and it would be based on what was programmed in me, my beliefs and things like that. So now I really make sure that I'm thinking only the right things, because I know my thinking creates my reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for people to understand that it's hard. Like, that's hard work. It's hard to become intentional about everything that you're thinking. And I think sometimes it almost gets hard, like it gets worse before it gets easier, because you're starting to then tackle, your inner demons, like your inner critics. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
was your experience, but I think that it's
Um,
to hear that.
yeah. So personally,
Yeah.
I I don't think it was hard. I don't think a lot of stuff is hard anymore. If you think something's hard, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna take time, and it's gonna be a challenge, and you're gonna feel like, oh, is it working? I'm not sure. So what I would say is that it does take discipline. So
Yes.
it takes discipline to say to yourself, okay, today I'm going to say these amazing things to myself and not the other things. And that's why this program's 6 months. Like, this isn't going to happen overnight. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and suddenly change every single thought that's in your mind that's been programmed for, I don't know, for me, 38 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to take time. It is progressive, but it's so much fun. And it
Yeah.
could be fun because you switch from thinking about yourself in a bad way to thinking about yourself in a positive way. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, like all of a sudden I'm liking myself today. What is that about? And it's just because you've been programming yourself intentionally. And the fun part too is changing your life. Like, I love lesson 1, where we get to create a worthy ideal. What does your ideal life look like? Not a lot of people ask themselves that or know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I would ever think about my ideal life would be if I was dreaming about winning the lottery,
Yeah.
right? So in lesson 1, you literally sit down and you design your life, you create your life, and then literally you use discipline in your thinking to create it. And it's so much fun. And then there's so many ways to do it: meditations, visualizations, auto suggestion, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is that my worthy ideal from when I first started is so different now. Like, I'm like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
completely different, because you then open yourself up to that infinite potential, the infinite possibilities.
Oh my gosh, yes, Sabrina. And the thing is too, so when you have a low self-image, you don't believe you can achieve much. You think you can maybe achieve a little bit more, like you're here, you think maybe you can go to here, and that's about it, right? Because you don't think highly of yourself. But
Right.
if you don't believe it, it'll never happen. So what's happened with you is your conscious awareness has shifted. So you now, your self-image has improved, conscious awareness has shifted. You now believe and know you can achieve more in life. So you stop sitting here waiting for things to happen, for life to happen, and you start driving the vehicle of life. You start moving your body towards what you want to do. And I can see that in you. Like you're doing more things, you're launching more things, and it's because now you know you can achieve it. But if
Yes.
you didn't believe that, you wouldn't have. You would have never. Yeah.
No, no. And I talked
Yeah.
about actually exactly that
Oh,
yesterday.
good.
Yeah, I talked about exactly that I would not be here today in this moment with each and every individual that is watching or that hops on or that is in my group or that I come into contact with if I had not immersed myself in this material, because I wouldn't have made this
Yeah.
decision.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So good. So
It's
good.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yay.
So, what would you tell your younger self? Knowing everything that you know now, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh man. I think one of the biggest things, I did a post today about, um, needing to change your body to be successful. So when I was a kid, probably since I was 6 or 7, I was told I needed to lose weight or I needed to exercise more. I needed to change my physical body. And that just persisted all the way through. And it keeps showing up. It keeps showing up now. But what I would go back and I would tell myself when I was a kid, if I could, is that your own personal opinion of yourself is the only opinion that actually matters, and that nobody else's opinion it really, really matters whatsoever. So now I'm 38 years old, and if somebody comes to me and they say something about that, then what do I say? No, actually, I don't. Thank you. Have a great day. Move on. Whereas before it's, oh no, I need to do this thing. I need to change my body, upset if I don't meet that ideal that's been created. And so for you, it may not be, for anybody watching, it may not be body image. It might be something else. So, you want to be an entrepreneur, and all your life you've heard that you have to get a secure job with a
Yes.
pension and benefits, right? So it's the same thing. Whatever you want to do and what you think is actually just what matters. So no matter what anybody else says. So I think I wish I had learned that when I was a kid, to be internally driven versus externally driven.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big one. I think a lot of people, I mean, I know I did. It's something that you struggle with all the time. It's
Yeah.
just this desire to please other people and to feel accepted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then
Yeah.
oftentimes we even set out on goals. So we set out on goals and we go do things because other people think we should. And
Mhm.
so that's what I really loved about this journey that I've been on, is that it's really just figuring out what is it that I actually want? What is it I actually desire? And to go towards that instead of what I think other people think I should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a fun question for you. This
Okay.
actually just popped into my head, so I'm going to
Okay.
totally derail myself, but that's okay. If you could choose to sit at a table
Hmm.
with leaders, influencers, whoever in this world, if you could have your choice to be able to sit at a table and ask all the questions, who would you want to be at a table with and why?
Is it people who are dead or alive, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
You know, I personally, I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins, and he actually was the first one that I saw in person that got me into personal growth and development, who taught me about energy. So I would love to spend some time with him.
Mhm.
That would be really powerful. I have no clue what I would ask, but I would love to spend some time with him.
Yeah.
And then one other person too that I would love to spend some time with would be Oprah.
Oh,
I think what she's done has just been absolutely phenomenal. And the empire that she's built, the impact on people's lives, like everything. I would love to just get some of her energy.
yeah. Those
Yeah,
are two good choices.
that's a good
I used
question.
to watch Oprah all the time. all the
Mm.
time. She's such a powerful woman. And I
Yeah.
have to say that you're following in her footsteps.
Oh, well. Oh, cool. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna start thinking about being the next Oprah.
You should. That's something you should manifest. There you
Oh
go.
my gosh, I love it.
So, what's next for you? What's next for Kathleen?
Oh my God, so much. So I think for me, immediate future is to now, my vision and my goal is to awaken people as much as I possibly can. So, what I kind of feel like has happened to me over the past year was an awakening, almost like a reinventing of myself. So, I want to help people to do that going forward, but I want to do it in a bigger way. So, me, myself, coaching by myself can only impact so many people. And so that's where Diamond Academy, which is the company that I own, is actually going to be branching out, and we're going to have so many more things coming in the near future. So I'm going to continue to coach and help develop people and mentor people, but we're going to have a whole coaching division, and then we're actually going to have many other little branches coming off too. We're doing a virtual summit end of October. We're going to be actually showing up for 2 days straight and giving everybody the tools that they need to create success in their online businesses. So that's really cool. And I used to say, I when I first started, I wanted to be one of Bob Proctor's top coaches. I did. I wanted to be one of his top coaches. And my belief has skyrocketed to the point now where I'm going to be more successful and create a bigger organization than Bob ever has, because I know that that is the real way to show him that his material works, is to create something bigger than he's even created. So that's the goal.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, I just
Yes.
have goosebumps. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So fun.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I almost feel like we should end there, but I just wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to someone? So, someone who,
Mm.
is, they have doubts, they have fears, they have worries, they really feel that getting into this material, having a coach, having a mentor would be something fantastic for them, but then they allow all their paradigms to kind of stop them or block them.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
what advice would you give that person?
Couple things. So the first piece of advice that I would say is to follow what feels good, and follow your heart. So your heart is your intuition. Your heart is the true you coming out. So if your heart is telling you that this information is something you want to be a part of, if this, what Sabrina's been talking about and teaching you is really resonating with you, and you know it would help you, then you follow your heart. The problem is we let our fears, we let the terror barrier, our paradigms, I call it fear, worry, doubt, and indecision-based programming, because we've been programmed that way. So
Yep.
that's all in your head. That's not your heart. So you're going into your conscious mind, and you're just allowing the what ifs to come in and impact you. And the other thing that I would say is to sit back and to think, what if I jumped into this material and I changed my life? And I don't know how much Sabrina has shared, but in 1 year, my life has changed so drastically that I would have never been able to predict it. But now based on what I've done, that you can do it too. So now you can predict it. And now you know that this material can take you from a 6-figure earner to a 7-figure earner in 7 months' time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yep.
Only if you believe.
Yes. You have to have the faith.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Kathleen. I
You're so
really,
welcome.
really appreciate you taking the time with all of us. And I think that, everyone is just going to get so much value.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fantastic. So thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing
you're so
this
welcome.
with all of us today.
Thank you for having me, Sabs.
Okay, you take
Okay.
care.
Bye.
Bye.